when you're trying to write or find the piecewise function based on a given word problem, you have to be really sharp and look at the conditions that are going to be given on the text. So on this one, we had several conditions. The first one is that the rent on this Airbnb is $100 a night for the first 3 nights. So that's our first condition. The first 3 nights are $100. So this means that X has to be greater than 0, but less than or equal to 3. So that's our first condition. You could argue that you could also have a 0 here, but I'm going to leave it like that. And if the rent is $100 per night, we're going to have 100 times X. That means that if I'm staying 2 nights, I have to multiply the number of nights, which is the input of this function, number of nights, by the rent that we're giving here. Then it's telling us that the next 3 nights are $90 a night. That means that X has to be greater than 3. And because we're dealing with only 3 nights, so if we already had 3, then another 3, we have 6 nights. So this condition is going to work for numbers going from greater than 3 and up to 6, exactly 6. And the rest, $80 a night, is going to be for each of the remaining nights. After 6, you can stay as long as you want, but you're just going to get a rent of $80 a night. So this is going to be X has to be greater than 6. So there's no limit. We just know that beyond 6, we're going to be charged $80 a night. But now we have to consider that the first 3 nights are always $100. So if you're staying 5 nights, the first 3 nights are going to be $100 a night. And that's a given, because if you're on this condition, that means that you have to go over those 3 nights. You have to go beyond 3. So we have to consider that. We have to consider that we have already paid the 3 first nights at a rate of, or at a rent of $100 a night. So we're going to have $100 times 3. And the rest is going to be $90 a night. So now those we have to calculate those nights. And because we already paid those 3 nights, if suppose you're staying 5 nights, the first 3 nights, 1, 2, 3, those are going to be $100 a night. And how many do we have left to pay? Just 2 nights. So it's going to be those 5 nights, and we're going to subtract the 3 nights that we have already paid under the other price. And we just have 2 nights to pay at $90 a night. So we have to always subtract the 3 nights that we have already paid. So this is going to be X minus 3, meaning that if you're staying 5 nights, this condition is going to be met, and you have to substitute those 5 nights on the second part of our function. So I'm going to do it over here. That's going to be $100 times the first 3 nights plus $90, because I have already paid 3 nights. It's going to be 5 minus the 3 nights I already paid. So it's going to be 100 times 3 plus 90 times 2. And it makes sense. 3 nights paid at $100 a night, and 2 nights paid at $90 a night. Now, if we're staying more than 6 nights, that means that we're going to have several prices, several things to consider. One is that the first 3 nights are going to be $100. And then we have another 3 nights. The next 3 nights that we were told about right here are going to be $90 a night. So in order to be down here, we need to have gone beyond those numbers. So $90 the next 3 nights. So that means that we, let's say we stayed for 9 nights. So the first 3 are going to be $100. Then the next 3 are going to be 90. But we have covered only 6 nights. So we have another 3 nights to cover, and those are going to be 80. So we are always going to, whenever we're on the last condition, we have to consider that we already have 6 nights on the Airbnb, and we just have the 3 nights to go, or the 3 nights on the new price. So this new price 80 is just going to be X. And because I have to consider those 6 nights, that I already paid, is going to be X minus 6. So let's try with those 9 nights that we have on that example. So that means that 9 is greater than 6. So this condition is going to be met. We're going to have 100 times 3. That's the price of the first 3 nights. Then 90 times 3. Because I went over, I have already paid 6 nights, 3 at 100, 3 at 90, and I have to see that this is going to be 80. 9 minus the 6 nights I have already considered here and here. So 9 minus 6, that's 3. So 80 times 3, 90 times 3, and 100 times 3. So that's 3 nights at $100 a night. Another 3 nights are at $90 a night, and 3 nights at $80 a night. And everything after that is going to be at $80 a night. So that's why we need to consider where we're at in order to make the calculation. We cannot just jump and calculate all of the nights at the price that we have at the end. So we are not just gonna do all of the nights at $80 because we have to consider the first 3 nights, the next 3 nights, and everything after that. And this one, the domain, you should consider that X is an element of the natural numbers, meaning that you're only going to use numbers going from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only those numbers. You cannot stay at a hotel for 1.7 nights. You are charged by the night. Either you stay the whole night or a fraction of that. You're only going to use natural numbers.